My dear friends, today I want to speak with you about something most marvelous, most powerful, and yet so astonishingly simple that the world overlooks it every day. It is this: act as if you always come out well. Let those words become not just a belief, not just a mantra, but a way of being, a law unto your life. You see, all things exist in imagination. That which you call real, that which you call physical, is but a shadow cast by a deeper reality, your inner state. There is no power outside of your own wonderful human imagination. When you begin to act as if you always come out well, you are not lying to yourself. You are aligning with the eternal truth of being. You are assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and by law it must harden into fact. Let no man tell you that you must struggle and strive endlessly to make your dreams come true. It is not by toil, but by assumption, that the world is transformed. It is not by begging life for mercy, but by boldly accepting the end, that you bring about its manifestation. And the end you must assume, the mood you must clothe yourself in, is the certainty that you always come out well. Not sometimes, not when the conditions are right, not when luck happens to smile upon you. No, always. When you walk into a room, walk in with the awareness that you are favored. When you speak, speak with the confidence that all outcomes bend to your highest good. When you face what the world calls adversity, smile inwardly with the assurance that this too will resolve in your favor. Because when you assume the end, the means will unfold, always. You may say to me, "But Neville, I have tried before. I have assumed good, and it did not come." And I say to you, did you really persist in the assumption? Did you dwell in it day and night? Or did you let the senses pull you away, seduce you back into fear and doubt? For your senses will lie to you. Your senses will scream, "Look at what is. Look at the facts." But you are not to worship the facts. You are to command them. You are the operant power. Nothing appears in your world, except by the permission of your inner speech, your inner images, your sustained mood. So then, if you are always coming out well, you must saturate your mind with that assumption, not just once, but again and again, until it becomes the atmosphere in which you breathe. You must walk the earth like one who knows a secret, because you do. The secret is that your imagination creates reality, that what you feel to be true becomes true, and that if you act in the conviction that you always come out well, the universe will bend backward to fulfill it. Imagine this: you have a challenge before you, a job interview, a difficult conversation, an opportunity that feels risky. What do most people do? They fret, they worry, they play out worst-case scenarios in their minds, and then they act out of that fear. And then they say, "See, I knew it wouldn't work." But what if, just what if, you approached every situation with this knowing: it doesn't matter what it looks like now, I always come out well. You begin to smile, not from arrogance, but from divine confidence. You begin to relax, not from passivity, but from trust in the law. You begin to move, not out of desperation, but from inspired action. And that vibration, that tone, calls forth the very outcomes you desire, not because the world changed first, but because you did. Your reactions create your reality. Your self-concept is your fate. And the most powerful concept you can adopt is that you are one for whom life always works out, that things are always happening for you, that behind every appearance is a blessing in disguise, waiting to unfold. The question is never, how will it happen? The question is only, can I feel it real? Can I act from the end, even when the middle seems uncertain? And the answer must be yes, because the middle is not your concern. Leave the how to God. Your part is the assumption, not the construction. You assume it is so, and it becomes so. Let me tell you something deeply profound. When you act as if you always come out well, you are not pretending. You are prophesying. You are stepping into alignment with your higher self, your God self, who knows no limitation, no defeat, no failure. And from that awareness, everything you touch must prosper. You are not here to survive. You are here to thrive. You are not here to barely make it through. You are here to master your reality. And mastery begins with identity. If you want to change the events of your life, change the assumptions that lie beneath them. Begin to see yourself as lucky, as guided, as chosen. Say within yourself, everything is always working in my favor. I am the blessed one. Doors open for me. Opportunities find me. I am always at the right place, at the right time. I always come out well. Do not wait for the world to give you proof. Be the proof. Walk like it, talk like it, think like it, feel like it. For feeling is the secret, and the world, which is nothing more than yourself, pushed out, must mirror back that which you most consistently feel. Perhaps someone will say, but Neville, what if things are going terribly? What if I am sick, broke, rejected, abandoned? And I say that is when the assumption matters most. That is when your faith is tested. For what credit is it to believe when all is well? True power is demonstrated when you persist in belief, in spite of appearances. Do you not remember the words of Scripture? Call those things which be not as though they were. That is not poetry. That is instruction. You are to claim, assume, feel, and act from that which you desire, as if it were already done, because it is done in imagination, the only true reality. When you dwell in that state of one who always comes out well, you become untouchable by fear. You are no longer reacting to life, but directing it. Your mood becomes your command. Your expectation becomes your evidence. And slowly or suddenly, all the facts rearrange themselves to conform to your assumption. There is no greater illusion than the idea that you are at the mercy of circumstances. That is bondage. That is ignorance. You are not here to observe reality. You are here to create it, and you do so by your inner world. The most powerful thing you can do is choose to feel now what you want to experience later. If you want peace, feel peace now. If you want wealth, feel the freedom of wealth now. If you want love, feel cherished now. And above all, if you want consistent victory in life, act as if you always come out well. Try it, not just once, not just for a moment, but for a week, a month, a year. Make it your way of life. Let it become the very rhythm of your soul. Wake up and declare it. Walk and embody it. Fall asleep with it on your tongue, and you will begin to notice strange things, that people treat you better, that opportunities arise out of nowhere, that problems resolve themselves with grace, not because the world changed, but because you did. You believed differently, and that belief became flesh. The world is yourself pushed out. There is no one to change but self. And when you change your self-concept to that of a person who always comes out well, the world cannot help but reflect it back. The job you thought you lost leads to a better one. The person who left makes way for someone more aligned. The door that closed reveals the open window behind it. I do not ask you to figure it out. I only ask you to believe, to assume, to persist. And if you will not give up the assumption, if you will cling to the end, then I promise you the means will come. They may come subtly, like whispers from the wind, or suddenly like lightning in the night, but they will come. There is no power outside of your wonderful human imagination. And when you dare to imagine boldly, to feel deeply, to assume consistently, you will see miracles. You will live in the grace of certainty, knowing that all things work together for your good, that nothing is ever lost, that you are not a victim, but a creator. So let this become your prayer, your affirmation, your declaration. I am one who always comes out well. My life is guided. My steps are ordered. My mind is clear. My heart is strong. No matter what happens, it turns to my benefit. I am chosen. I am protected. I am favored. I always come out well. Say it until it becomes your new truth. Say it until it silences the voice of doubt. Say it until the world echoes it back in every event, every meeting, every outcome. For that is the law. According to your faith, be it unto you. So I leave you now with this simple invitation, not to wait for things to improve before you feel good, but to feel good now, because things are already improving. Not to hope for a better life, but to live from the end, where the better life is already yours. And the end, my friend, is this. You always come out well, no matter what. You always come out well, because you have made it so in your imagination. That is where the script was rewritten. That is where the plot turned in your favor. That is where the seed of your new life was planted. And if you will hold to that vision, not wavering, not doubting, not questioning, then nothing on this earth can stop it from coming into full bloom. It will not matter what the headlines say, what your bank account shows, or what others think, for you will have withdrawn your attention from the facts and fastened it to the truth, that you are the operant power, that the world cannot help but bend to your assumption, because there is no other creative force, there is no outer reality, that isn't first an inner conception made visible, and so you walk in faith, not blind, passive faith, but bold, living faith, a faith that knows, a faith that acts. Every step you take becomes guided, every word you speak begins to carry the frequency of success, every situation, no matter how chaotic, begins to reorganize itself around your dominant belief. It is as if the entire world is conspiring to prove you right, because it is. You have commanded it so. This is why it is said, to him that hath it shall be given. When you have the feeling, the state, the conviction, then more of it is added. The rich get richer, not because of some cruel rule, but because their inner world is saturated with abundance. The loved are loved more deeply, because they have assumed themselves to be lovable. And the victorious, those who always come out well, experience victory after victory, because they refuse to live any other way. It is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are not trying to deceive yourself. You are revealing your true self, the self that has never been separate from the infinite. You are no longer waiting for conditions to change. You are becoming the cause, the source, the center of your reality. You are stepping into the only place real transformation begins, within. So when you wake in the morning, do not ask what the day will bring. Declare what it must bring. Say to yourself, this day is already blessed. This day is already plotted solutions. This day ends in my favor, because I always come out well. Say it when you rise. Say it when you eat. Say it when you walk. And say it most especially when the outer world appears to contradict it, because in those moments the test is strongest, and so is the reward. The longer you persist in the new assumption, the sooner you will find the old world dissolving. Like fog in the morning sun, what once felt like problems begin to evaporate, not because they were fixed, but because they were replaced by a new vision, a new concept of self. That is the key. It is not the world that changes, it is you, and your world reflects that inner transformation perfectly, precisely, without fail. It may seem slow at first, like a trickle, a small synchronicity here, a kind word there, but let not your heart be discouraged, for that is the movement. That is the sign that the wheel is turning, the momentum is gathering, and soon it will break through like a flood. You must be ready for it. You must be prepared not just to receive, but to sustain the life of one who always comes out well. You must begin to think from that person's point of view. How does he walk? How does he speak? What does he expect? What does she allow herself to receive? You don't get what you want. You get what you are. And when you are someone who expects things to go well, not just now and then, but always, you begin to radiate a power that reorganizes the entire field around you. You no longer chase. Things are drawn to you. You no longer force. You align. You no longer wish. You know. In that knowing, you rest. You do not worry. You do not ask when will it happen. For one who knows he always comes out well, does not ask if he knows it is already done. The outer may take time to reflect it, but the inner is settled. And what is settled within must become fact without. This is not theory. This is law. The world will say, be realistic. But I say to you, be imaginative. For the realistic man accepts what is. The imaginative man creates what shall be. He walks in the unseen, and therefore he brings the unseen into form. And the most powerful form he holds is this, that he is blessed, guided, chosen, and unstoppable. Even when rejected, he knows better is coming. Even when something appears lost, he knows it is making space for the greater. Even when the plan fails, he knows that something more perfect is being assembled, because he has decided once and for all that he always comes out well. And so he moves through life, not rushing, not doubting, not reacting, but radiating. He is no longer the one who tries to make life happen. He is the one through whom life flows. He sees signs where others see setbacks. He finds miracles in the mundane, and he gives thanks constantly, abundantly, joyfully, not just when things go his way, but because he knows they always will. You too must adopt this attitude. You too must walk in this state, for it is available to all, but claimed by few. It does not require status or wealth or connections. It only requires belief, assumption, and the discipline to persist. You must carry yourself as one for whom the end is assured, not because the world told you so, but because your soul declared it, because you have communed with the deeper self, the God within, and heard the quiet, powerful voice say, all is well. You are safe, you are chosen, you are victorious. That voice is always speaking. The question is, will you listen? And once you hear it, will you believe it? And once you believe it, will you live it? Let that be your decision today. Not to wait, not to hope, but to be, to embody the end now, to walk as one for whom it is already done. And then watch as your world catches up, inevitably, irresistibly, beautifully, because you dared to believe that you always come out well. Let this belief soak into your bones until it no longer feels like a thought, but a knowing. Let it settle into your breath so deeply that it influences your tone, your pace, your posture. Because when the mind is truly convinced, the body cannot help but follow. And when the body follows, the world responds. It cannot do otherwise. For the outer world is not your master, it is your mirror. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to convince others of your worthiness. You don't need their permission, approval, or applause. The moment you accept that you always come out well, you are no longer bound by appearances or external validation. You live above it, not in ego, but in truth. Because your truth is that you are not here to struggle endlessly. You are here to remember who you are. Who are you? You are imagination. You are spirit clothed in flesh. You are the power that shapes reality through feeling and conviction. You are the operant power. And once you know that, nothing outside you can ever defeat you. Not truly. You might experience setbacks, delays, redirections, but never defeat. For even what appears as a fall is a setup for the rise. Even what seems like the end is only the clearing for a better beginning. Hold that image of yourself, not the old self bound by fear, doubt, or limitation, but the radiant, triumphant self that walks this earth, knowing he is always coming out on top. Speak to yourself in that tone. Treat yourself with that love. Think thoughts that match that destiny. If doubt arises, do not fight it. Simply return to your inner vision. Let it become so rich, so vivid, so real within that it outshines the facts. Say to yourself, this moment is not the end. I know who I am. I know what I've assumed. And because I've assumed the best must come to pass. Others may try to explain their failures by telling you that life is hard, that things go wrong, that people betray you, that dreams fade. Smile gently at them, not from judgment, but from knowing that none of those things need be true for you. You've chosen a new story, a better one, a higher one, and you will no longer accept the false comfort of shared limitations. You will walk in power, quietly, calmly, steadily. You will no longer need to announce your worth. Your presence will speak it. You will no longer chase what is yours will arrive. You will no longer wrestle with life, because you have found the higher law, the law of assumption, the law that responds not to effort, but to embodiment, not to struggle, but to state. Your chosen state, your sacred inner place, is this. I always come out well. It becomes the foundation of your every decision. It governs how you show up. It colors your expectations, your mood, your results. You become a magnet for success, not because you're trying harder, but because you're feeling deeper. You are no longer trying to create a better world. You are revealing it. You are revealing what has always been true, that you are blessed, that you are supported, that you are aligned with a benevolent force that bends reality to match your inner conviction. If ever you forget, simply close your eyes. Return to the silence within. See yourself again, victorious, smiling, peaceful, having already received the thing you once hoped for. Feel it real. Breathe it in. Rest in it. That inner state will do more for you than any amount of outer action. You may take action, of course, but only inspired action, not desperate action, not action rooted in fear or lack, action that flows from the knowing, it is already mine. That kind of movement is effortless, it is guided, it is joyful, and it bears fruit, because it springs from the vine of truth. Do not ask, what if I fail? Ask instead, what would it feel like if I already succeeded? And live from that. Let that question guide your tone, your walk, your thoughts. Let that assumption become your atmosphere. You see, you are not becoming lucky, You are realizing that you've always been. You are not waiting for your life to improve. You are stepping into the identity of one whose life is already wonderful, because you've decided it is so. The universe has no choice but to mirror it back. It is law. Every time you affirm, I always come out well, you are not begging the world to be kind. You are commanding the universe to reflect your inner reality. You are stating a fact from the mountaintop of consciousness. You are aligning with the version of yourself who already has the answers, already walks in power, already dwells in fulfillment. That version of you, that highest self, is not far away. It is not something to be earned. It is something to be remembered, to be accepted, to be embraced right now. You don't need to climb to reach it. You only need to drop everything that says you're not worthy of it. Every limiting thought, every tired story, every false identity, let them go. They were never you. They were borrowed garments. And now it is time to take them off. Put on the new man. Put on the assumption. Wear the feeling like a second skin. And don't take it off. Not when it's hard, not when it's slow, not when the world doesn't believe you. Keep wearing it. Keep being it. Because in time your assumption will become your evidence. Your faith will become your fact. And your inner vision will become the life you live in. So move forward now, not as the one who tries, but as the one who knows, not as the one who waits, but as the one who claims, not as the one who reacts, but as the one who creates. You always come out well, not because you're lucky, not because you're better, but because you've assumed it. And the law can never fail, even when the outer world seems to tremble. When the ground beneath you shakes, you do not collapse into fear. You rise into remembrance. You remind yourself that storms are merely shadows cast by a fading reality, dissolving as your new assumption takes hold. You say, this too is working in my favor. And in doing so you transmute every experience. Yes, every experience, into something golden. You become the alchemist of your own life. You no longer identify with setbacks, because setbacks are just scenery along the path to certainty. You no longer collapse when something doesn't go as planned, because you understand the plan isn't in the outer. The plan is in the assumption, and the assumption that you always come out well guarantees that no detour can keep you from your desired destination. People may ask you how you remain so calm. They may wonder how you always seem to land on your feet, but they will not see the secret. They will not see the inner sanctuary you have built with thought and feeling and unwavering belief. They won't know that you walk in a world that begins and ends inside your imagination, and that's perfectly fine. This power isn't meant to be shouted. It's meant to be lived. It's in the way you carry yourself. It's in the quiet confidence you bring into every room. It's in the peace you emanate when others panic. And most of all, it's in your consistency. The unshakable persistence to dwell in the end you desire, not just once, not just when it's easy, but always. You see, the universe does not respond to need, it responds to state. You may cry out for a change, you may beg, you may plead. But if within you are still vibrating in fear or doubt, the outer will echo that back. But the moment you shift into knowing, into being the one who already has, who already is, who already overcame, that moment is sacred. It is creative. It is transformational. You are no longer hoping that life will treat you kindly. You have assumed that life is already on your side. And so the universe, compelled by your inner command, rearranges its forces to comply. People, events, circumstances all begin to bend toward your belief. It may appear subtle at first, but keep going. Do not be moved by appearances. Be moved only by the inner conviction that you always come out well. This is not about faking it until you make it. This is about being it until it becomes visible. Holding to the state, no matter what. Resting in the assumption when others doubt you. Persisting when others retreat. Repeating the inner claim. I always come out well. Until the walls of your old beliefs come crumbling down. And they will. They must. Because no matter how long you've lived under the illusion of powerlessness, the truth is stronger. And once you allow it in, once you embrace the real you, the creative, powerful, limitless you, then the old limitations cannot survive. They may resist. They may whisper doubts. But you are no longer interested in that voice. You have chosen the voice of power, the voice of truth, the voice of your future self calling you into alignment. And so you move through the world differently. You notice things you didn't before, signs, synchronicities, sudden clarity. What once felt like coincidence now feels like confirmation. You're not just imagining, you're remembering. Remembering that you were always meant to thrive. That life was never against you, it was always responding to you. And now that your signal has changed, so too must the outcome. Even in chaos, you find calm. Even in delay, you find peace. Because you are no longer ruled by the visible. You are guided by the invisible. You are grounded in the eternal law that what you assume to be true, if persisted in, must harden into fact. So you stay faithful. Not to what the world shows you, but to what your soul knows. You honor the unseen. You trust the inner whisper. You walk by assumption, not by sight. And day by day, moment by moment, that assumption becomes a felt reality. You don't have to know how. That's not your job. Your job is to be it, to dwell in the feeling of it, to live as if it's already true. The how will unfold in ways more creative than you can imagine. And when it does, you'll smile. Not in surprise, but in certainty. Because deep down you knew. You always knew. This is why no matter what happens, you hold the line. You speak the truth. Even in the silence of your mind. I always come out well. Not because of who your parents were. Not because of what your bank account says. Not because of what society has taught. But because you have aligned with the infinite intelligence that responds to your assumption, not your history. And that makes you free. Free from circumstance. Free from the past. Free from fear. You become one with the truth that God in you as you is always greater than anything outside you. That the I am in you is the only cause of your reality. And that when you align with that I am, when you say I am one who always comes out well, the world obeys. Not because you demanded it, but because you believed it. Belief is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. So hold the belief. Nurture it. Return to it every time the outer world tries to distract you. Say it to yourself when you wake. Whisper it to yourself when you fall asleep. Live in it as your natural state, not something you try to remember, but something you can't forget. It becomes your identity. And your identity, once fully assumed, becomes your destiny. And so I leave you with this truth etched deeply in your soul. The world bends not to effort, but to assumption. Your life is not the sum of your past, but the product of your persistent belief. The moment you decide, truly decide, that you always come out well, the universe responds with unwavering obedience. No storm can shake you. No delay can deny you. No opposition can undo what your inner world has already claimed. Because you walk in the knowing that you are not hoping, not wishing, you are being. Be the one who rises in the face of doubt. Be the one who sees beauty where others see chaos. Be the one who walks with quiet power, because they've remembered the truth. You are the operant power. You always have been. And now that you've accepted it, you always come out well. That is not a hope. That is a law. So live it, speak it, embody it, and watch the world bow to the power of your assumption.